Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Sarah Farasia.
David, oh, there is so much going on over here. I'll tell you what, it's crazy.
It's
Up half the night
crazy.
with a 3-year-old getting messages about you that I need to do my own research, that you're a paid negative plant against Teresa Giudice. And how
Honey,
dare I not do my own research? But we did get
honey,
an awesome 5-star. Hello, can we talk about the 5-star reviews we've been getting on your podcast about our partnership?
can
That
I just say something? Because Teresa don't need to, what was I going to say? Nobody needs to pay me for negative reviews on Teresa because she's an animal all on her own, girl. All on her own. 5 more weeks and the whole thing's over. So it doesn't matter. We'll have no New Jersey in our lives for like
2 years,
years.
years.
Ugh,
Okay.
a good
Wow.
year. Oh, I can't wait, girl. I can't wait. I'm gonna have a celebration.
Uh,
What were you
Well,
saying?
I
Five
want to I
star
want to shout
review.
out. We've gotten a ton of positive reviews lately. 5 stars, David and Sarah, on your podcast reviews. Seriously, your podcast is just the best. Your interview skills are superb. That is completely true about David Yontef. Look forward to each and every episode. Also, love when you have Sarah on. You're great together. Thank you for all your hard work. Can't wait for the OC reviews. I also got a woman who left me this most amazing voice message, just talking about Bethany Frankel and how much she loves you and me together. So shout out to all the behind the velvet rope Sarah Fraser fans. What a team we have! What an army! I
A
like getting to do
crossover.
that with these. Yeah.
Two things on that note. Yes, love everyone. First of all, so I was just in LA for a few days, for work. I did not see Sarah Fraser because she was stuck coming back from uh Maine for days. But on the way back, so like they will sometimes on Jet, they don't do it all the time, but on JetBlue, they come to like it's really actually jarring. Like you're in your zone on the flight. I'm sticking with JetBlue. That is just where I've built up everything. And for LA to New York, I really do enjoy JetBlue, although the Delta Lounge at LAX is
I was
great.
gonna
So
say, I can't even picture you on a
everybody's
JetBlue, and even I'm in the Delta Sky Lounge.
Everybody says that, but JetBlue is when you get on the plane, there's something about it which it's just luxurious. I find it luxurious compared to I find it modern and just relaxed. I find it relaxed. And I mean, we're too far along now because there's a lot of status.
You got the
There's a
points.
lot of
You're always getting
status.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so like I'm Mosaic and I'm Mint. So like they come over sometimes to your seat just for no reason. They say, Mr. Yontef, they always know your name. And they're like, and you look up, you're like, like, am I gonna be arrested midair? Like, what did I do? And they're like, thank you for being a Mint Mosaic member. Literally, they say that if there's anything we can get you. And then they walk away, but it's still like jarring. So anyway, the guy comes over, just flying home from from LA to New York, and he's like, Mr. Yontef, thank you for being a Mint member. And I'm like, look up, and I'm like, thank you. Yeah, I'm okay for now. Maybe a sparkling water. And then I looked away, and then he says, and I'm like, oh God, I just have to say, I hope this isn't too forward. I really enjoy listening to you and Sarah Fraser. So you got
Yeah,
a
we do.
fan? You
So
got a fan,
it's
Sarah?
amazing how many people listen to this podcast. And like I said, everywhere I go to, whenever I'm at a Bravo event, people always know. They're like, "I love you. I found you from David." It's very lovely.
Well, shout out to the JetBlue flight attendant who's a big fan of yours, Sarah. So there you go. True
Well,
story. True story. Speaking of, well, we have to talk before we have our announcement. Let's just talk about a few things here for a minute. I would like to start with, look, I don't want to make fun of people. It's not nice. I just want to start with you, Sarah, my friend, my soulmate, my podcast. We have a new podcast, guys, in the world, and it's from Miss Gunvalson, Vicki Gunvalson. It is called My Friend, My Soulmate, My Podcast.
what are your thoughts? Do you think now this is a big one. So everybody is still on the podcast train, which I understand because podcasts are not going anywhere. In fact, they're only going to get bigger because no one is ever going back to listening to traditional radio. And unfortunately, I have a lot of sad news for even our friends at SiriusXM. I suspect they are probably even struggling to maintain subscribers now with, just TikTok, YouTube, podcasting. No offense. So everybody still has a podcast. The housewives have seen the enormous success of Two Ts. And now we have Vicki with, is this her third podcast that she's had? Fourth?
Unfortunately, this is, and I have some news about me. I'm very close to this story. I will spare
Yes.
you the details, but there's a lot that I know about Vicki and her journey to her new podcast. This is her, yeah, she's had two failed podcasts, Whoop It Up and which I was on. I don't even know the name of her second podcast. I truly can't remember it. But this is a third
Why am
podcast.
I drawing a blank? Like, I truly thought she had another whole podcast
She
first.
did. She definitely had this too. And here's the problem. And I know this for a fact, like Vicky's goal in life, and these are facts. I know these for a fact. And one
Okay.
day, I mean, I could get into how I know all this, but look, her goal is she's not over Tamra. Her goal with this podcast for a fact is to knock Tamra off the charts, beat Tamra. That is all she wants to do. And I feel bad being honest about this, but I'm always honest with this audience, because I have such conflicted feelings about Vicki. She's so annoying as a human being. She really is. Like I've
Okay.
had some business dealings with her. And she's very annoying. She does business like it's 1990. It's so old school. It's annoying but she's not going to knock Tamara off the charts. Like, let me start with some facts. It's not going to happen. If you look, do I think Vicky's going to premiere with this podcast in the #1 slot? Probably everyone does. It's not, no one knows about the Apple charts is the way you rank is the delta. So if you have 0 downloads and the next week you have 5,000, you will rank on the Apple charts higher than someone that has 900,000 downloads and goes to 901. It's the delta, it's the change. So she will premiere very high. Look, Two T's for
They
all
all
of
do.
my, right, for everyone's premieres high, for all of my knocking. And look, I mean, it's not going to happen. Now, I feel bad. I do the consulting on the weekends. I do the business consulting, the life coach consulting, the podcast consulting, and now people apparently are paying just to talk about Bravo. If anyone wants to talk Bravo for an hour with me, you can book me. It's a true hour, whatever. You know what? If I could book Shannon Doherty to talk about 90210 and Charmed for an hour,
She'd be like, you'd have all the slots. You would literally spend all your money. Your fortune would be gone to Shannon.
So
Yeah.
I mean, like this isn't such a
Yeah.
it's as organically started by somebody booked me for podcast consulting and 5 minutes in said, I lied. I need to come out of the closet. I don't have a podcast, nor do I want to talk about a podcast. I just want to talk Bravo. And I'm like, sweetheart, the check cleared. So let's talk. So this is a real thing if anyone wants to book me. My point is Vicki should have taken my podcast course because look, I'll give credit where credit's due. Teresa Giudice, Turning the Tables, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant name. That is the most brilliant name I have ever heard. Turning the Tables for Teresa. It implies so many things. It's a brilliant name. Now we have my friend, my soulmate, my podcast. Like this has to be a joke. This is